The Miami Hurricanes picked up a new center out of the transfer portal today, and this guy brings a lot of experience. And as an added bonus, he's even bigger than Matt Lee. Literally. What's going on, Canes fans? Now do me a favor before we dive in and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 23,000 before the end of 2023, and we're about 70 away, so I think that we can do it, and I would really appreciate the help. And what I'll do to return the favor is I'll try my best to keep you guys up to date with all of the transfer portal shenanigans, and there is definitely some news to talk about today. There's another QB that's officially off the board, but two more big-time players have now officially entered their names into the portal, and I want to talk about if one of them might possibly be an option for the Canes if Cam Ward doesn't work out. But first off, let's give a nice warm welcome to Miami's new center, Zach Carpenter. Carpenter is roughly 6'5", 295 pounds, and he transferred from Indiana. He chose Miami over North Carolina and Maryland. This is a huge pickup because this guy is a sixth-year redshirt senior who brings a lot of experience after playing in 37 games. He can also play at the guard position if needed, so it's very nice to have guys on the roster that can move around. Indiana's head coach said that he believed Carpenter was the best offensive lineman on the team in 2023, and that now makes 3 players in total that Miami has pulled out of the transfer portal, with the other 2 being defensive lineman C.J. Clark from NC State and safety Savion Riley from Vanderbilt, and we talked about both of those guys in my previous video. Now let's close this thing out with some quarterback talk. I don't think that there will be a video uploaded in the month of December that doesn't end with some portal quarterback discussion. Now, a name that I felt like we should kind of talk about and put out there, but I didn't believe Miami was actually pursuing, was the Toledo transfer DeQuan Finn. It was officially announced earlier today or late yesterday that he has committed to Baylor, so he is now off the board. Now, a name that we all know Miami is still interested in is the Kansas State transfer Will Howard, but we talked about in my last video that he visited USC over the weekend. Now, there have been some rumors swirling around on message boards and on social media today that he has committed to the Trojans, but there's been no official announcement from Ward himself, at least not at the time of filming this video. In that video yesterday, I did say that I'm leaning towards Ward choosing USC because I think that that move makes a lot of sense for him, and I do believe that he would be a fit there. But again, just keep in mind that there's nothing concrete right now. I wouldn't typically say that anything's official until you hear it from the player themselves. And they, usually put out some sort of official statement on social media. Miami is obviously still interested in him, and he is kind of quarterback number 2 if Cam Ward doesn't work out. Now, speaking of Cam Ward, there are no new updates at this time. As far as we know, he's just in thinking mode, trying to make a decision. Him and his family sitting down, probably weighing the options between Miami and Florida State. But let's assume for just a moment that Howard does choose USC and Ward still has no idea where he wants to go. There are a few more additions to the portal that could be potential number 2 options, and I want to see what you guys think about them. The first one is the grad transfer from Arkansas, KJ Jefferson. He officially entered the portal today and is roughly 6'3", 247 pounds, and was a 4-star coming out of high school. Now, his numbers weren't quite as impressive in 2023 as they were in previous seasons, but he threw for 2,107 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. He also rushed for 447 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, many believe that his lower numbers were due to coaching issues and an underperforming offensive line. We know at the very least, offensive line shouldn't be a problem for Miami in 2024. I don't want to say anything to jinx it, but it shouldn't be. Coaching side is to be determined, but we know that he should have a good, solid O-line to play behind. That's the point I'm trying to make. In 2022, he threw for 2,648 yards, 24 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. This guy does check several boxes for Miami. He has lots of experience. He's a taller quarterback at 6'3", and he's mobile. So my question is this: do you think that Jefferson is a take if Cam Ward falls through? I personally believe that he's at least worth a look, but you do have to keep in mind that the dead period has started, so there can't be any official visits until January 12th, and that makes things a little more complicated. And the last QB that I want to talk about is the one that has everybody all riled up, and that's the former #1 recruit in the 2023 class, USC transfer Malachi Nelson. This guy is super young and will still have 4 years of eligibility remaining after sitting behind Caleb Williams. Nelson is roughly 6'3", 190 pounds, and he threw for 2,898 yards, 35 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions in high school. I'm just going to be honest, it's not that I don't like this guy, but I don't think he's necessarily what the coaching staff at Miami is looking for. By hosting Ward and Howard, they've made it known that they're looking for a guy with experience, and that is going to be their #1 priority. Now, there is a world here, and we've talked about it in multiple videos and streams, where if all of the top priority quarterbacks, the ones with a lot of experience, don't work out, Miami might have to explore an option where they look for a younger guy and they bring him in, try to develop him. Maybe Ja'Carri Brown stays, plus you still have Emery and Judd. So there is a scenario where something like that could work. And we look at guys like Malik Murphy. We look at Nelson and some other guys that are big-time players. At least their star rating or rankings say that. But it would be a guy that would come in and would stay at Miami long-term. Again, I still don't think that's their approach, but it could potentially be a route that they have to take if nothing else works out. But don't be shy. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Right now, it really seems like everything is riding on Cam Ward's decision, and Miami is just going to have to sit back and see what he says first. I do know that the coaching staff will probably be proactive. I mean, they're not dumb. If they have the ability to reach out and kind of feel some things out and maybe gauge some interest, they are going to do that, because you got to have a backup plan in place just in case. But everybody's waiting to see what Cam Ward decides, and hopefully we'll find out very soon. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.